Subscribe now. What do you got to lose? It's not like there's any other place that'll have you. Evercade, what a fantastic console if you're still in the retro but don't want to hook up your old consoles but still kind of want to collect stuff physically, games and all. Yeah, I'm really digging my Evercade. That's why I bought 4 new cartridges for the damn thing. I have the home console Evercade Versus or Evercade VS, which I fucking love. I play on that thing constantly. Well, not constantly, I do play my PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch also, and I do play those more, but still, whenever I get this hankering for a little retro gaming session, I usually fire up my Evercade Versus. I do have the first handheld too, but I'm not really a handheld player, When I'm on the go, I don't want to play stuff. Even at home, I don't really want to play my handheld, If I'm out there, I'm focusing what's out there. You might get eaten by a bear if you go out there in the woods and your face is stuck in your Evercade handheld or whatever. You'll be Yogi Bear's breakfast in no time. It's dangerous out there. And when I take a shit, I don't usually drag my handhelds there. That's why I have my, phone. That's my YouTube video time. That's when I watch all those YouTube videos. 4 cartridges, and they have a lot of games, so that's why I'm just gonna do these 4 cartridges that I got. It's a Evercade gaming pickups. Let's just move on. First Evercade cartridge I got, and I'm gonna go through these in the order they were released. They have these little numbers on the side here, so it's easy to tell, which came first and which came last. The first one I have here is Evercade cartridge number 22, and it is the Bitmap Brothers Collection number 1, featuring such classics as Speedball, Speedball 2, Speedball 2100, Xenon 2 Mega Blast, and the Chaos Engine. Oh, one of my favorite cartridges so far. This is so good. I did the mistake that I actually bought a Bitmap Brothers Collection 2 before this, because that one had Chaos Engine 2, and I was always interested, is Chaos Engine 2 as good as the first one? Little spoiler, it's not, it fucking sucks. So yeah, that cartridge, it was a bit of a disappointment. It had its moments, but it was disappointing. Yeah. But this one, man, this is fucking great. I love this. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Speedball games. If you haven't checked out, I have my Speedball 2026 game review. I had to buy that because, well, we haven't really gotten any Speedball games since the late 90s, I do believe, when Speedball 2100 was released for PlayStation 1. But yeah, I had actually never played Speedball 2100. When it comes to the first Speedball, I don't think I played that before either, but I might be forgetting. If I did, it was just quick try or something, because my friends had a lot of games on Amiga and shit like that, so if I did try it, I don't remember anything about it. So this was basically my first try of first Speedball and Speedball 2100, and let me tell you, Speedball, the first one, well, when it came out, it was the only Speedball we had, so it was alright back then, I guess, but Speedball 2 has been my favorite for the longest time, and well, the only Speedball I remember playing, but still, I love that game. That is so good. It's so much better than the first one. I mean, graphical improvements and the gameplay is just, it's better. Everything's better. Audio's better. But now this was the first time I actually got to try Speedball 2100, and I kind of mixed that up with some other violent handball game on PlayStation 1, which I thought was the Speedball sequel. But no, Speedball 2100 is actually also top-down, just like Speedball 1 and 2, and it plays pretty similarly. It's a bit more smoother, it looks better, sounds better. Yeah, well, it being for PlayStation 1, I think they could have put a little more meat on the single-player seasons or leagues or something like that, but still, as it was, I think that might be my new favorite Speedball game. That was really good. I really dug that. That was great. Yeah, Speedball 2100. Still, it has that fucking annoying thing that, you can't manually switch your players. At least I didn't notice that you could. But yeah, it always switches to a player who's usually closest to the ball. And sometimes that creates huge fucking confusion because you're running towards the ball. And next thing you know, the ball's rolling closer to your other guy. You're just running away from the ball after that. So it sucks. But yeah, that was Speedball game. Xenon 2 Mega Blast. That is one of those 16-bit. I do believe that was for Sega Mega Drive / Genesis originally. Might have been for Super Nintendo. I don't know. I doubt it. I think I've only heard of the Sega Mega Drive version, or maybe it was just Amiga game. I think it was Sega. But yeah, it's one of those scrolling shoot 'em ups where your tiny little ship is at the bottom of the screen and it keeps scrolling vertically, horizontally. That was vertical scroll, this was horizontal scroll. I always keep mixing those. But yeah, you were going up and you shot everything that moved, and you also could acquire new weapons which helped your case. I didn't play it that much. I think I beat the first boss, then after that I played a little more. I might have gotten the second boss or something. I don't actually even remember. It was kind of a quick try. I'm not the biggest shoot 'em up fan. I do love to give those a try at times, sometimes, you know. Gradius for NES is still my all-time favorite. That's so fucking good. That one I might give that one a try more often than others. Yeah, Xenon 2 Mega Blast, it wasn't the best one, it wasn't the worst one, it was alright. What I played, I might actually, you know, if I put this cartridge in and, well, it's gonna be there, so I might give it another quick session every now and then, you know. Fun game. Not the best, a fun game. Then you got Chaos Engine, which is the jewel of this collection. I mean, Chaos Engine, so good. One of the best top-down. Well, it's not twin stick shooter, because this one came out before there were twin sticks, basically. I played it mostly on Amiga 500 back in the days at friends' place, but I do have the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis version also. Ha! Yes, here it is. This one. This is so goddamn good. I love this game. I played it through 2 or 3 times, something like that, but yeah, it's so good. I fucking love this. This is one of the best, you know, shooters, just top down, kind of twin sticky, but not, because you have to move the direction, or what's in the direction that you're shooting. Basically, you can't strafe, so that's a thing that they did back in the days. You know, didn't have those twin sticks. You only had one stick, and if you were beating that, well, you weren't playing games. Chaos Engine. Fucking fantastic. This is so good collection. I really dig this. This was a good buy. This was a really good buy. Man, Bitmap Brothers, they made some great shit. Next Evercade cartridge I also have the Collection 1 from this company, but yeah, I had to buy it because one of the best gaming companies or game companies back in the 8-bit and possibly the 16-bit days also, but especially 8-bit days, man. This company was on fire. It made some of the best NES games, at least, you know, out there. They were so goddamn good. But anyway, the collection I'm talking about is Sunsoft Collection 2. And this one has 7 hits from Sunsoft, and I'll go over them fast here. Blaster Master, Enemy Below, how do you say that? Euphoria, The Saga, or we say here Euphoria. Days Before Christmas, Aero the Acrobat 2, Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, Primitive Princess, and Galaxy Fight Universal Warriors. Well, first of all, Galaxy Fight Universal Warriors, that's a fighting game, one-on-one, and that one's kind of sucked. I didn't really care for that. I tried a couple of times with different fighters, and well, I did get my ass whooped, but that's not why it sucked. I don't know. It was like decent, mediocre fighter. Couldn't get the hang of it. It did have like quite a few different moves and all that. But still, it just didn't do it for me. I wasn't really a fan of Galaxy Fight Universal Warriors. Then we have Primitive Princess, which is, I do believe that's originally for Game Boy, because it only had 2 colors, and all the levels were, you know, size of the one screen, like on Game Boy a lot of times things were. Basically, I think you had to get to a door, or was it the ladder? I gave it a couple tries, I was like, yeah, it was alright. I mean, if I only had Game Boy, I might buy that and play that every now and then. It was like a alright Game Boy game. But other than that, not something that I'd entertain myself the whole evening or anything like that. Or maybe even a whole hour. Half an hour's pushing it. 15 minutes is good. Then we had Aero the Acrobat 2, which is sequel to Aero the Acrobat 1, and that one came also, the first one came in this, Sunsoft Collection 1, which I have, and I gotta say, the second one, it's better. It's better. I wasn't big. That was alright, 16-bit platformer. Well, it was between, you know, like alright and good. Somewhere around there, like 6.5. That's like 7's good, 6 is, you know, it's better than mediocre, but yeah, it's somewhere there. And yeah, I did enjoy that, but I do think Aero the Acrobat 2 was way better. I enjoyed it more. Again, platformer, 16-bit, so nothing new there. I always loved those 16-bit platformers. I think they have really great animations usually, and characters and level designs and all. They can sometimes be a bit buggy. You don't really see what's coming out there or down or up. When you're jumping around and moving fast. That's one of those things that a lot of those games had kind of default fault in them. But this wasn't bad. Aero the Acrobat 2, that was actually pretty enjoyable. I'd say that's like 7.5 or 16-bit platformers. It was definitely improvement from the first one. But then we have Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, and I think that was way more fun. I really dug that. And that's some kind of spin-off from Aero the Acrobat, if I understood that correctly, but I mean it kind of looks the same, but the squirrel moves differently, has different kinds of attacks and all that. But that one was actually, I think that was better than Aero the Acrobat games. I really dug that. That one I might go back and actually play through or something. I might play Aero the Acrobat 2 through at some point too, but Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, yeah, I'm gonna play that first, definitely. If I ever get that hankering to play 16-bit platformers. It's not something I get too often these days, but sometimes it's just fun to fire up something like that and give it a go and yeah, see where you get. Then we have another platformer, Days Before Christmas. Christmas game. You're a Santa Claus and you're trying to rescue elves and you collect presents and yeah, there's enemies and you can hit them with your sack when you turn into Krampus or something like that. It was the evil version of Santa Claus. That was alright. I dug that too. I think it wasn't as good as Aero the Acrobat 2 or definitely not as good as Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel, but yeah, I'd say if I had to pick between that and Aero the Acrobat, the first one, I think I might go Days Before Christmas. Fuck it, Aero the Acrobat 1. It had a lot more going for it, but Days Before Christmas was kind of more clear platformer, just more, I don't know, it felt more like it's easier to get more into it and not get too lost, because if I fire up some old 16-bit platformer, I kind of just want kind of smooth sailing usually, so. But Christmas themed game, I don't really have a lot of those. I don't think I have any. Days Before Christmas might be my first one. Unless I'm forgetting something. Well, I don't know if you count James Bond 2, RoboCard, where he has to save Christmas, basically. I guess that counts as a Christmas game. I had that a couple of times. But whatever, I guess this is my second Christmas game then. But yeah, it was a decent platformer. I did dig it. Then we have Euphoria, the Saga, which was for NES, and I remember I used to rent that. We had still a place where you could rent games for Nintendo. Yeah, I rented that a couple of times. Not as often as Double Dragon 2, because that's still the GOAT. But yeah, I rented Euphoria, the Saga, a few times, and I always liked it. That was kind of fun game. Now I played it again. It's been probably 30 years since I played that, maybe over 30 years. Still alright, I didn't give it like proper go. I played a little bit, I rescued one other character, maybe two characters, I don't actually remember. It was just kind of quick play I gave it, and yeah, that's actually one that I felt like I really need to go back and give it a better try, because it was one of those games that I really loved growing up. And they actually released Euphoria 2. It's been in my shopping cart a couple of times. I kind of want to buy that, but I didn't pull the trigger on that just yet. It looks kind of fun, and nostalgia. When it comes to Euphoria, nostalgia is something that I really actually want to get Euphoria 2. God, should I buy that? I think I should buy that. But yeah, also I need to go back and give Euphoria, the first one, a better go. Anyway, last game on this cartridge, Blaster Master Enemy Below, and yeah, it's basically Blaster Master for Game Boy Color. I didn't play that too much because I played a ton of Master Blaster on NES, and also those Master Blaster Zero games for Nintendo Switch. I have those, the whole trilogy. I have Collector's Edition, every one of those. I'm a huge Blaster Master fan. Blaster Master games are great, but this Game Boy Color version, it's kind of like a bit of a step down from the NES version, so I was like, I gave it a quick go, and I think I'd rather go and play the NES version. Although there was like nothing wrong with this one. This one looked like it would be good, but when I'm feeling like I really want to give Blaster Master a go, I think I might still go for the NES one, or possibly the new ones, the new trilogy on Nintendo Switch. The first one in that trilogy is actually a remake of the NES Blaster Master, so yeah, I've beaten that too. It's so goddamn good. It is still, Blaster Master Enemy Below. It does feel bit slower or like something's bit off when you compare it to the NES version because it's the Game Boy Color version. I was never really a big Game Boy gamer myself back in the day, so yeah. I do have Game Boy Color now, but I kind of prefer NES games. They did roll a little better usually. Like I said, I don't have the biggest experiences with Game Boy or Game Boy Color, so anyway, Sunsoft Collection 2. This was a really decent collection, although I do have to say, if I compare it to this first one, with the gimmick Blaster Master Boy, which was the Game Boy, Journey to Silius, Aero the Acrobat, and Arabian. Just having Blaster Master and Journey to Silius and, well, missed the gimmick too. This kind of beats this, but this is really good too. Yeah, I'm happy I got this one too. It's not like Bitmap Brothers, where the other one, the second one, was kind of a bit of a big letdown. This was still really good. Then I bought my first dual cartridge Evercade cartridge, which only has 2 games, and the reason why this only has 2 games, I believe, is because these are kind of bigger games or newer games, so they take more space. I don't quote me on that, I'm not certain about that information, but that's just, I mean, these are kind of, if I'm not totally mistaken, yeah, 2 indie thrillers from Kai Magazine Software. Yeah, these are indie games, more modern indie games, so that's why I guess there's only 2 of them, and also this one doesn't have any company name, it's just Metal Dragon and Life on Mars. Those are the 2 games that are on this, and yeah, I played both. Metal Dragon, that one I actually played through. I really dug that. That's a top-down twin-stick shooter without 2 sticks. So again, it's not like twin-stick shooter, but it's one of those top-down run and gun games. Really dug that. That was a good one. That was I really enjoyed there were these cut scenes between levels, and they were kind of taking a piss of Metal Gear Solid series. You had your main guy, and then you had some colonel here, and it was the exact same type of codec conversations, and they were talking all kinds of kind of weird and sometimes pretty funny shit. So yeah, I was really enjoying that aspect in it. It's a good old school top-down run and gun game, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I played it through twice. Yeah, because it's been a little while since I bought this. Then I inserted this again inside my Evercade, and I was like, Metal Dragon, did I try that already? So I put it on, and I was like, oh, this was this game, and then I just kind of got stuck and played it again. So it kind of reminds me of those old NES games like Jackal was one, which was that kind of top-down run and gun shooter too. Really good. I do recommend that. And the second game, Life on Mars, that one has a bit more meat around its bones. It's Metroidvania style, I'd say. I didn't beat that, but yeah, there's basically your guy goes on Mars and something's happened to a research center and everyone's dead and there's all kinds of monsters. Same old story and everything. But yeah, it's side-scrolling 2D kind of Metroidvania style game where there's an elevator, there's different floors and different ways you can go, and you can't enter everywhere immediately. You need to get different set of skills and different set of weapons and all that kind of stuff so you can enter new places which you couldn't before. So there is that aspect. I really enjoyed it. It looks kind of 16-bit, but it feels like one of those Amiga 500 games more than console games. There was this certain difference between Super Nintendo and Mega Drive versus Amiga and those more kind of home computer PC style platformers, shooters, whatever. They always had that, the Amiga and PC, all those platformer games on those. The movement was kind of weirder. There wasn't really as much physics as in the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive. It's kind of hard to explain, but once you play it, you can kind of see it, so it feels more like that, and I do appreciate it, although I gotta say I do love more the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive platformers, because they were more smoother and stuff, but this one, it just really kind of, immediately when I played it, I was like, this really does feel like old Amiga game or something. It has that movement style and the shooting and all that, like there's no weight really. But really enjoyed both games. I didn't beat Life on Mars. I did play a good chunk. It is a longer game. I'm not saying it's like hours, but it is a longer game, and I do think I played in like hour, maybe closer to 2 hours. I don't know. I played a good time. I sucked at it. That's probably why I didn't get that far, even in hour or hour and a half, something like that. But still, I'd say if you're interested in old school top-down run and gun games and those side-scrolling Metroidvania style games, older Amiga 500 and those PC style, like Turrican 1 and Turrican 2, the movement was kind of similar. So yeah, if you enjoyed that type of games, I'd say this is a pretty nice dual game cartridge. I did enjoy this, and these are cheap. It's like $20, 25 or euros. Then we're down to the last cartridge I bought, and this is cartridge number 46. I haven't told you the numbers. First one was 22, the Bitmap Brothers collection, number 1. Sunsoft Collection was 38, and this dual cartridge was 42. This one is 46, and I had to get this. I hadn't played any of these games back in the days from this cartridge, which is weird, because this was fucking great cartridge. I love this. This is Gremlin Collection 2. Now, I have Gremlin Collection 1, which I showed on my last gaming pickups, where I showed Evercade cartridges, and this one had Zool, so that's one of the biggest reasons why I bought this. But man, Zool was shittier than I remember. It was actually pretty shitty. I didn't really enjoy that much. I remembered it was better, but I think I mixed it with Coolspot. And overall, this cartridge, it had some alright things, but it was a bit disappointing, which is a shame, because I showed it at the same time as Bitmap Brothers 2 collection also, so that video's Evercade cartridges were mostly disappointing. There were some good ones in the cartridges, but for most parts I was disappointed. But still, I was really interested in this Gremlin Collection 2, because this one actually had games that I had never played before. These were PlayStation 1 games, and I love my PlayStation 1. That is fantastic. It's my favorite PlayStation console. I know, it's the first one. It has this, the games and all, they have this certain feel that can't be replicated on newer consoles, so it works. I really dug that. I'm a firm believer that when you have lower tech, it requires you to use more your imagination and find out inventive ways to get past that. So that's why I think a lot of times I love older games and older movies too, because the bigger the budget, the more lazier you get, and that kind of shows in the final product oftentimes, where I can just buy anything, so, let's put that there, and there wasn't really any love that went into that. So PlayStation 1 is, in that sense, I just fucking love that, and the games and all. But Gremlin Collection 2, this one, 4 games, lock and load with 4 Gremlin classics. This one had Loaded, Reloaded, Hogs of War, and Buggy. I had not played Loaded games before, even though Loaded, especially the first one, it looks bloody. And that's usually the kind of stuff that gravitates towards me. I love my gore. I just made a video where I list 7 games that are gory that I really enjoy because they're gory. Just in case you want to see it, I'll put it up here. But yeah, let's start with the weakest one. Buggy. It was still alright. PlayStation 1 driving games, they can be kind of sometimes pretty wonky. Still, oftentimes I enjoyed those. But yeah, Buggy especially, it did feel kind of more extra loose and wonky when it came to controlling, because these are basically RC cars, so they put that extra effort that they feel like RC cars. And if you played RC cars, I don't know how they are these days, but back in the 90s when I didn't have like those professional RC cars that some people had really like obsession and hobby, they bought all these extra parts and switched those and all that shit. I just had the supermarket crap. They can be kind of loose, and that's kind of the driving feel they went in this, and when it's PlayStation 1 era, it feels even more wonkier and loosier. So it was fun. I didn't hate it. I might actually go back and give it another try and play a couple more tracks. I did beat one race, so I'm still, despite the driving feel being what it is, I'm pretty good. But yeah, that was definitely the weakest link in this one. Then we have Loaded and Reloaded. Loaded was fucking great. It's top-down shooter. This is like twin stick shooter. Here you could strafe, but you had to kind of press a button and move, left and right. So yeah, it's kind of still technically a bit more of a hassle doing that, but it still worked. If you keep playing it for like an hour, you kind of get used to controllers already. So it wasn't really like that big of a deal. Not even an hour, like half an hour. You're kind of getting in the groove. You're getting the real right touch in the mechanics, and it starts rolling better. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. All that blood, you were shooting. It's just, you pick your character. You have different kinds of characters who have different special moves. I do believe. Well, it's confusing because I played Reloaded next, and Reloaded had different characters. They had all different kind of special moves, and everyone had their own special weapon. Everyone did have their own special weapon. And their own kind of unique weapon that they used. It did. I'm pretty sure. I actually played Loaded more, but the two games are kind of intertwining. But I do know that Loaded was definitely the better game. It was so goddamn good. I really just, like I said, I enjoy the bloodiness, and it had these darker corridors and darker levels and all that. It had this certain atmosphere. It was like a mental institute where all the prisoners just escaped and got loose, and like really dark. It felt darker. Just the whole air around the levels and all that. It was a really dark and brutal game. I really enjoyed it. That one was good. I'm definitely gonna go back and play that more. Then, after that being so great, I played Reloaded, and it's alright. It's alright. Kind of same type shooter, but this time it's more isometric view. You have like outside levels where you go around, and there's like desert, which it doesn't look as cool as something like Mental Institute or whatever those bases were meant to be in first Loaded game. I don't think it was like Mental Institute, like it meant to be like that, but it just really gave off the vibe. Tight corridors and all that. But the second one being more open-ended, and they went with more 3D-ish enemies and all that. They kind of look, kind of stupid. It was still a decent shooter, but it was a step down from whatever Loaded was. It just didn't work as good. Still, I enjoyed it, and I played it, got quite a few levels, and I might go back and beat that actually at some point. It's not like I hate it, because those top-down, even if they're isometric view run and gun shooters, they are always fun usually. Even Reloaded couldn't screw up that old formula, which just seemed to work every fucking time. It's so good. It's so good. But Reloaded compared to Loaded, it is a noticeable step down. I don't know what they were thinking, going in the direction they went. Still, they both come in the same cartridge, so obviously, if you're gonna buy this, play Reloaded also. It is good, but prepare to be disappointed after Loaded. And then lastly, Hogs of War. Hogs of War is one of those PlayStation 1 games. Always everyone really wanted that, and I think it went up in price also quite a bit. And I remember seeing that cover, and I was always like, Hogs of War, and I only saw like still pictures. I never saw gameplay, and I was like, looks kind of stupid. That looks kind of dumb. Like, why are people raving over this game? What is it with this game? I have no fucking idea. Then I played it, and it's like the first 3D Worms before 3D Worms. It is fucking great. You have your team of pigs, and then there's the enemy team of pigs, and I love how they're kind of taking those Second World War-ish teams you can pick. You have like Russian pigs and German pigs and British pigs, and I think there was Italian pigs, and there were a couple of different countries, but they all had that feel like they were straight from Second World War. Really fun, just the overall aesthetics of the game and the vibe of the game. It's kind of colorful, but it's got that somewhat of a rude, kind of crude humor, which is not that in your face, but it kind of like Worms. They shout out all kinds of weird and funny things before they shoot each other or when they die and all that. This one has kind of the same thing going for it. I really enjoyed it, and it is 3D, so you have certain time. Your team's pigs, one at a time. You have to move those, or it's like one of your pigs, it's one enemy pig, one of your pigs, one enemy pig, and you have the time limit. You can run around. It's usually like small island or a piece of land where you're basically doing your war shit that you do. Try to kill the other team. And you go, and you might get new weapons. There's bazookas, there's rifles, there's grenades, all that kind of basic worm stuff. And try to take out the team. You throw a grenade, you have to time it because there's the bar, same thing as in Worms games. And you have to calculate the right angle and the power in your shot or throw or whatever. Or if you're using the rifle, it just usually kind of it wobbles, so you have to shoot at the right moment, once the target is on top of your enemy. Also, there was dynamite, and it kicked ass just like in Worms 2, and such a fun game. I had no idea it was like that. I don't know what I was expecting. I saw it so many times and people raving about it. I didn't see what kind of game it actually was. But now that I went and played it, it's so good. Best game in this collection? Loaded or Hogs of War? Probably Loaded, just because I'm more of a single player, but Hogs of War, it does also have single player campaign. That is really fun, but that type of games, they're always better against friends. I think I'm gonna give the edge to Loaded, but Hogs of War is like there. It's a pig's tail below Loaded. But yeah, really just fantastic games. This was a really good collection. I really dug this. All were 32-bit games. All were for PlayStation 1, so yeah. But yeah, that was all the cartridges I have for Evercade, and which one was my favorite? Ooh, it comes pretty much down to, I'm a huge Speedball fan, and Chaos Engine is fucking great. I'd say Chaos Engine and Speedball 2, Speedball 2100. Well, Chaos Engine is better than anything on this cartridge, but Loaded and Hogs of War are kind of tied between Speedball 2 and Speedball 2100. I think I'm still gonna give Bitmap Brothers Collection 1 their edge, just by a little bit. This is like 9.1 when it comes to Evercade cartridges, and this is just even 9. So yeah, it's not a big difference. Fucking love both these cards. Next one, I think I might still go with Sunsoft Collection 2, because, it's got some really decent platformers, 16-bit platformers, and Blaster Master and below, even though if I'm gonna play Blaster Master, I think I'd prefer to play the NES version or the new Switch versions. It's really good game in this, so. This one, only 2 games, but both were quality. Both were pretty goddamn good quality. I did enjoy it. I didn't have any bad games this time. These were all fucking great, and I have quite a bunch of these red covers, which are these just older retro games or indie games or something like that. Then there are the blue covers, which are these were those home computer collections. I have like 2 of these. I think I did have one other. Yeah, I did have one other on top of this, but these are great too, but I do prefer these red covers. But I'm still missing those arcade ones, which are those purple, so I think next I might go fully into those arcade cartridges, because I love arcade games. So next time I'm gonna order, which actually might be today because I got my paycheck today, I think I'm gonna go with the arcade cartridges. So next Evercade collection I'm gonna do, it's gonna have some Evercade arcade cartridges. Have you played any of these? Did you dig this? Did you play these when these first came out? I mean, this is obviously indie games that are more modern, so but maybe you have played these on your modern consoles or something. Did you dig this? Fuck off, and I'll fuck off, and we'll meet back here when I upload more crap. And go play with your Evercade. If you don't own Evercade, take a look at the games. And especially if you like smaller games and retro games, it might be something for you, because I'm really fucking digging my Evercade. I'm like the only one in my friend circle, I'm talking about live friends, not online friends, who has Evercade. No one else has it. They're missing out. They're stupid cunts. Anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna order those arcade Evercade cartridges. Goodbye.